Section 21 of the Second Jungle Book. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Second Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. Section 21. Red Dog, Part 2. For a long hour Mowgli lay back among the coils, while Kaa, his head motionless on the ground, thought of all that he had seen and known since the day he came from the egg. The light seemed to go out of his eyes and leave them like stale opals, and now and again he made little stiff passes with his head, right and left, as though he were hunting in his sleep. Mowgli dozed quietly, for he knew that there is nothing like sleep before hunting, and he was trained to take it at any hour of the day or night. Then he felt Kaa's back grow bigger and broader below him as the huge python puffed himself out, hissing with the noise of a sword drawn from a steel scabbard. "I have seen all the dead seasons," Kaa said at last, "and the great trees and the old elephants, and the rocks that were bare and sharp-pointed ere the moss grew. Art thou still alive, manling?" "It is only a little after moonset," said Mowgli. "I do not understand." "Hiss! I am again, Kaa. I knew it was but a little time. Now we will go to the river, and I will show thee what is to be done against the dhole." He turned straight as an arrow for the main stream of the Waingunga, plunging in a little above the pool that had hid the Peace Rock, Mowgli at his side. "Nay, do not swim. I go swiftly. My back, little brother." Mowgli tucked his left arm around Kaa's neck, dropped his right close to his body, and straightened his feet. Then Kaa breasted the current as he alone could, and the ripple of the checked water stood up in a frill round Mowgli's neck, and his feet were waved to and fro in the eddy under the python's lashing sides. A mile or two above the Peace Rock the Waingunga narrows between a gorge of marble rocks from 80 to 100 feet high, and the current runs like a mill race between and over all manner of ugly stones. But Mowgli did not trouble his head above the water. Little water in the world could have given him a moment's fear. He was looking at the gorge on either side and sniffing uneasily, for there was a sweetish, sourish smell in the air, very like the smell of a big ant-hill on a hot day. Instinctively he lowered himself in the water, only raising his head to breathe from time to time, and Kaa came to anchor with a double twist of his tail round a sunken rock, holding Mowgli in the hollow of a coil, while the water raced on. "This is the place of death," said the boy. "Why do we come here?" "They sleep," said Kaa. "Hathi will not turn aside for the striped one. Yet Hathi and the striped one together turn aside for the dhole, and the dhole, they say, turn aside for nothing. And yet for whom do the little people of the rocks turn aside? Tell me, Master of the Jungle, who is the Master of the Jungle?" "These," Mowgli whispered. "It is the place of death. Let us go." "Nay, look well, for they are asleep. It is as it was when I was not the length of thy arm." The split and weather-worn rocks of the gorge of the Waingunga had been used since the beginning of the jungle by little people of the rocks, the busy, furious, black wild bees of India, and, as Mowgli knew well, all trails turned off half a mile before they reached the gorge. For centuries the little people had hived and swarmed from cleft to cleft, and swarmed again, staining the white marble with stale honey, and made their combs tall and deep in the dark of the inner caves, where neither man nor beast, nor fire nor water, had ever touched them. The length of the gorge on both sides were hung as if it were with black shimmery velvet curtains, and Mowgli sank as he looked, for those were the clotted millions of the sleeping bees. There were other lumps and festoons and things like decayed tree trunks studded on the face of the rock, the old combs of past years, or new cities built in the shadow of the windless gorge, and huge masses of spongy, rotten trash had rolled down and stuck among the trees and creepers that clung to the rock face. As he listened he heard more than once the rustle and slide of a honey-loaded comb turning over or failing away somewhere in the dark galleries, when a booming of angry wings and the sullen drip, drip, drip of the wasted honey guttering along till it lipped over some ledge in the open air and sluggishly trickled down on the twigs. There was a tiny little beach, not 5 feet broad, on one side of the river, and that was piled high with the rubbish of uncounted years. There were dead bees, drones, sweepings, and stale combs, and wings of marauding moths that had strayed in after honey, all tumbled in smooth piles of the finest black dust. The mere shape smell of it was enough to frighten anything that had no wings, and knew what the little people were. Kaa moved upstream again till he came to a sandy bar at the head of the gorge. "Here is this season's kill," said he. "Look." On the bank lay the skeletons of a couple of young deer and a buffalo. Mowgli could see that neither wolf nor jackal had touched the bones, which were laid out naturally. They came beyond the line. They did not know the law, murmured Mowgli, and the little people killed them. Let us go ere they wake. They do not wake till the dawn, said Kaa. Now I will tell thee. A hunted buck from the south, many, many rains ago, came hither from the south, not knowing the jungle, a pack on his trail. Being made blind by fear, he leaped from above, the pack running by sight, for they were hot and blind on the trail. The sun was high, and the little people were many and very angry. Many, too, were those of the pack who leaped into the Wanganga, but they were dead ere they took water. Those who did not leap died also in the rocks above, but the buck lived. How? Because he came first, running for his life, leaping ere the little people were aware, and was in the river when they gathered to kill. The pack, following, was altogether lost under the weight of the little people. The buck lived, Mowgli repeated slowly. At least he did not die then, though none waited his coming down with a strong body to hold him safe against the water, as a certain old fat deaf, yellow flathead would wait for a manling, yea, though there were all the dholes of the Dekkan on his trail. What is in thy stomach? Kaa's head was close to Mowgli's ear, and it was a little time before the boy answered. It is to pull the very whiskers of death. But Kaa, thou art, indeed, the wisest of all the jungle. So many have said. Look now, if the dhole follow thee, as surely they will follow. Ho, ho! I have many little thorns under my tongue to prick into their hides. If they follow thee hot and blind, looking only at thy shoulders, those who do not die up above will take water either here or lower down, for the little people will rise up and cover them. Now the Wanganga is hungry water, and they will have no Kaa to hold them, It will go down. Such